Okay, all right. Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. I'd like to come through here and give some thoughts on a brand new track, a brand new song, a brand new single from my guy, the best rapper on the YouTube scene. That would be the one and only Dax. Dax, this guy, he's a rippity rip, rapping, lyrical miracle kind of guy. He's got bangers. He's got meaningful cuts that give you like a little more food for thought. Collaborations with greats such as Hobson as well as Old MacDonald. But Dax is coming through with a track here today that's transcending genre. He's not just hitting us with bars and beats this time around. Oh no. Oh no. He's given us a bit of a country ballad. I mean, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of country instrumentation hanging in the background. It's mostly like very atmospheric pianos and stuff like that. But I can tell it feels a bit country from like the work jacket he's wearing in the music video, all of the visuals of like, sad older dudes with their hands in their faces. Oh my God. And the fact that Dax is singing on this track with a, her, that husky, twangy kind of inflection that you usually don't associate with his music. Artists will kind of put this inflection on when they're trying to hit with more of a country audience, I suppose. So yeah, giving us a very dramatic ballad this time around. But, most importantly, what Dax is giving us on this track is a viewpoint, is an understanding of what it's like to be a man. And oh my God, it basically distills everything I hate about some artists operating within the YouTube rap scene. They will basically reinvent themselves, their sound, their messaging, their everything in order to pander to a specific group of people who they have in mind for the song. And for whatever reason, this audience usually ends up falling under the umbrella phrase of, well, I don't usually like hip hop, but this right here? But that's another rant for another time. What I really want to get into is the mindset behind the writing in this song and how weird and demented and twisted it is and how unhealthy the viewpoint of this track is. Because I see a lot of guys kind of reacting to the song and thinking like, yeah, this is what it's like to be a man! Bitch, it doesn't have to be, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Like, let's look at the track, look at the lyrics, and actually analyze the mindset and the psychosis going on here, and just try to think outside of the very stereotypical box that's being presented to us with this track. It hits us right from the beginning with the lyrics, I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. Cue meme graphic of the Joker holding cigarettes saying, you wouldn't get it. Okay, guys, pro tip here. First step to being wrong, feeling like you are privy to information that everybody else out there just doesn't get and doesn't understand, and you're just the one smart genius guy who gets it. Try to break out of that thinking. It's not healthy. Beyond that, I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. Then Dax tells us it's a lonely road and they don't care about what you know. There are so many themes of loneliness and isolation attached to manhood that like, why? It sucks. It's boring. Look, I like my alone time too, but like, don't you want to hang with the boys? And, some girls and non-binary people too. Hang out with everybody. Do you want to be out having fun, hanging with everybody, doing cool shit? Or just like walking down a dusty road, baking under the sun, looking like a fucking loser who don't get no pussy? They don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. As somebody who is constantly asked all the time in his line of work, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What's your opinion on this other fucking thing? I don't identify with the thought that like people just don't care what men have to say in society. And also, it's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Like, how long have we been living in a society where men are not the sole providers in a great deal of households? Why are we still shoving this narrative down people's throats? Like, it's not only societally way more acceptable today than it was back in the day for women to be working and for women to be sole breadwinners within families, but for a lot of people, it's not even economically feasible at this point, to be living in a one-income household. So this line is just spitting in the face of reality at this point, economic reality for many people. Men, please stop only viewing yourself as providers and not seeing yourself as anything else other than someone who provides something. There's other things that you can be in life other than a provider, or you can sure provide in life for your family or whoever you feel like, but also, have other likable and significant qualities about your person as well. Yeah, I know this life can really beat you down. You want to scream, but you won't make a sound. Got so much weight you've been holding, but won't show any emotion as a man that goes unspoken, that we can't cry when life gets hard. Says who? I've cried on camera multiple times in reviews when talking about music that I personally find to be moving. Nobody's fucking told me that I can't cry or that I'm a loser for crying other than other guys. Yeah, whenever I have been moved by a piece of music, brought to tears, of course there have been negative reactions, just like there's negative reactions to everything I do, of course. Honestly, the pool of people giving those negative reactions to me crying, what wasn't society at large, wasn't women or children or dogs, who also get a shout out later in this track. It was guys. The can't show emotion kind of comes with an asterisk on this track. I can't cry. I can't show emotion because the other guys will think I'm a pussy. Okay, going on from there, unconditional love for women, children, and dogs. Seems men can't catch a break, but women, children, and dogs, man, they got it easy. Tell that to all the children in orphanages, all the dogs in kennels, and all the women in battered women shelters. They got to where they are due to unconditional love. Honestly, what's further gross about this line is that it treats empathy and compassion as if it were a zero-sum game. There's only so much compassion to go around, and whatever compassion I'm not getting it because other groups of people or other things are getting it instead. All right, moving on. We know that we just have to play our parts and don't nobody give a damn about our broken hearts. As a man, we got to pave our way. Nobody can help us. It's that rugged individualism that's so toxic and it's so garbage and it's so stupid. Rarely in reality land does anybody get anything done or accomplish anything life-changing, significant, world-changing, just completely alone and by themselves. Our only function is to work and slave. Like, what the fuck? It would be one thing if Dax pointed out that this mindset, that this way of thinking was bad, and then illustrated like, okay, it's terrible, and here's where it's coming from, and we need to counteract it. But no, he's just kind of accepting it as like a sad, gross truth that we just have to live with as guys, which fucking sucks. There's no respect for you if you ain't paid. Not true. There's lots of guys who aren't rich who have respect. You're disregarded as a human, and you can't complain. At this point, I feel like the song is a fucking psyop. It's like Dax is doing the bidding of the rich and mega corporations and the powers that be to basically tell guys, hey, if life sucks and is unfair and is terrible, your only option is to be lonely and sad and stupid and quiet because nobody's going to care if you think everything sucks ass. And if you ever make it up and actually reach that place and find a woman that you love and give her your last name, you'll feel the things that you provide is only why she stays, and then why you try to explain, you'll say. So of course, as Dax states here, even when you do make the money and you can provide, everything is still terrible because the only reason people fuck with you is because you have money and you can provide stuff, and that's it. I genuinely feel bad for men who see the world in this way, because it's got to be a really lonely way to look at the world. It's got to be really depressing to move through the world thinking that your purpose is simply this, and that everything in the world is reflecting this back at you. You know, it's one thing to think this about yourself, and it's another to feel like, yeah, this is what the entire world thinks of me and wants from me. Don't give up, keep fighting. As a man, our sun is our horizon, and our father's actions play a role, and we end up like him, so they can't let us see them hurt, because they'll embody what they do and start a generational curse. No wonder most men are so depressed, all the things that they can't express. That's a very weird view of like the impact or significance of showing emotions in front of your children. Then going further into, I guess, a military-industrial complex angle to it, they go to war, get thrown on the shelf, then go back to war with their mental health. Which, like, okay, this is terrible. This is bad. This is not good. For what reason is this happening? Again, it's just like a weird normalized thing that the song presupposes. Meanwhile, there's an active and terrible culture around militarism in our country. In addition to that, you have a lot of young people signing their lives away to the military just to get a leg up economically speaking. And yeah, when you go through that process, and especially when you see war, you come out of it pretty fucked up. And guess what? There's little to no resources for you when that happens. I feel like it's upon us as guys, as the primary demographic that this is affecting, to stand up and not accept this as a simple truth or like some circle of life shit. Assume there are alternative and superior paths to going it alone in every scenario. You should be provided help and aid and a host of other things when you're dealing with things like mental health issues or some kind of injury sustained in battle. And while, yeah, we do have things like a VA in this country, it's clearly proven to not be enough because there's so many veterans out there who are homeless, prone to suicide, and while I do appreciate that in some sense Dax is highlighting the issue, he's not really digging all that deep into it or, you know, kind of providing any prescriptions, anything like that. And from there we get another chorus, and that is essentially this mid-ass song in a nutshell. A track that, yes, again, I see a lot of people reacting to and identifying with. And look, I'm not saying that the feelings at the core of this narrative aren't valid, but there's no real analysis as to where these feelings are coming from, and the awful stereotypes of manhood that often come attached to these feelings help cause and contribute to these feelings are just like, you know, accepted as normal, and that's just what it is. And speaking as a guy, I thought it would be fun to hop on here and tell you there's another way. It doesn't just have to be this way. And, you know, give it a think, give it a thought. And that's all I want to say. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Dax, what it's like to be a man. Forever.